Welcome to Synchronize Swatches, your twice monthly dose of coolness. I'm your host, Chip Johnson.
And I'm the other guy, Chris Gregory.
Every other week, we watch an episode of the cult classic 1990s sitcom Parker Lewis Can't Lose, and then we record ourselves talking about it.
It's time for Operation Record the Podcast. Are you ready?
It's the Red Menace, you fool.
Gentlemen, Synchronize Swatches. Not a problem.
I've never liked you, Lewis.
Not a problem.
Eat now?
Clean out your locker, you're finished.
How was the trip out there to Kansas City, Kansas?
It was good. It was a hectic week because, we went and saw a lot of houses. Plus, we were there because, she helps her brother do these baseball card shows, collectible shows. And, so he throws him and his friend throw the event. So it's a lot of work, and she helps coordinate all this stuff. And it was a 2-day show. Normally they do 1-day shows, so they did a 2-day show. So it was a day of prep and then 2 days of event. So we're doing that on top of, house hunting too. So it was just, it was a hectic week. But we finally locked in a house, signed a lease, and that was kind of our goal. We didn't want to really leave before having something set up.
Right.
So we're getting there, man. This next month's going to be crazy.
Is it next month that you're actually moving?
Yeah. So as we record this, this is April 29th as we're recording this.
Don't tell everybody that.
Well, who knows? Who knows when this will air?
Good point.
But end of May is when we'll be doing the big move. So I'm actually going to get some quotes. I'm going to have a moving company give us a quote, to do the whole thing. I know it's going to be insanely expensive, but I want to at least get a quote before I decide. I'm just going to do the U-Haul, drive it myself. But we'll see. It's probably going to be me in a U-Haul, so it's going to suck, but we'll see.
Yeah. What's that drive like from LA to the middle of the country like that? Lots of hills.
No, it's flat as fuck because we went 40 the whole way.
Okay.
So almost the whole way. So we split it over 3 days. Friday we left kind of right before lunch. And actually that day it felt like we didn't make much progress at all because just getting out of California just took for fucking ever. Out of LA, it just seems like traffic was still crappy. Even around Barstow, we keep hitting traffic. But we stayed in Flagstaff that night. And then, you're in the mountains to get to Flagstaff, but then after that, after you come out of the mountains, it's just flat, desert and farmland pretty much the rest of the way. Yeah. And then second night we stayed in Amarillo, Texas. And then from that point we woke up Sunday morning and instead of taking 40 out towards Oklahoma City, we took back roads diagonally through the panhandle of Oklahoma and into Kansas, and then straight to Olathe, which is the city outside of Kansas City where her brother lives. So it was 26 hours in total.
Wow. So
we did 8 hours one day, 10 hours another day, another 8-9 hours the next day. So it's a haul. So I'm not looking forward to doing that with a truck, but
why not?
Yeah. Oh God. So
that should be fun.
Yeah. It's crazy, man. It's just we have so much shit. It's just that thing. If you have the space, you fill it. And when I moved out here 8 years ago, whatever it was, I had nothing. I threw it all in my little Volkswagen Golf. Everything fit in my Volkswagen Golf. Yeah. But we got too much junk now, man. God, even getting rid of stuff, it's just too much.
Yeah.
God. As you can see, for all the junk behind me.
Yeah, you always end up getting rid of stuff when you end up moving out, wherever you are. So, that'll be a good experience, I guess, but it's tedious. It's fucking tedious doing that shit. Yeah. We kind of threw in the towel on the whole looking for a house thing because, I spent a couple of weeks, shopping basically, you know, and for the I mean, this is, most people are aware of this, but like for the amount of money that you have to put out, the amount of house you get is awful. It is. It's just not good, you know.
I know.
So, I mean, and then, when I got the renewal notification from the place I'm in now, and the rent is only going up like $25 a month.
Oh,
so I was like, well, I don't like how much I pay, but $25 a month is not enough to like, be like, no, to hell with that. It was kind of forced the issue too. Cause it was like, well, I've got like a week and a half to decide on that, and I'm not seeing shit, like the places I went to look, it's just like, you want more than I sold my house for a few years ago for substantially less space, and substantially less quality, and again, like that's not like news, like
no,
I was aware of that going in, but it's like, man, forget it. I'll just wait another year and just see, who the fuck knows,
It's disheartening, man. I mean, we're not looking to buy right now, but we will be hopefully in like a year and a half, 2 years. And I'm hoping maybe the situation improves. I don't know how,
right.
But it's kind of disheartening. It's just, the whole market, real estate market is just, it's inflated and fucked, and it's like, I just don't know how that gets fixed at this point, I don't know.
Yeah. That's not really my forte, so I don't know either, but I just know there's a lot of people asking a lot of money for, places where I'm just like, are you fucking serious? Give me a break,
It's crazy, man. It's crazy. So when you re-sign your lease, can you go month to month at that point though?
I don't think they do month to month on in this particular property, which is fine. I mean, I know what the buyout is if I decide to get out early.
Right.
And everything, so
I just, because like you say, you were kind of in that time crunch of like, I'm not seeing anything good. I don't have time to look and to take the time to look for something that might work. And I guess you'd be back in that position again if you're in another month or a year lease. But if you're month to month, at least you could kind of, once you find a decent house to buy, you could jump whenever. But
yeah. So it's it's not the end of the world. It's just it would be nice to be paying to own a place, but it at the same time, it means I don't have to fucking pack up and move out of here.
Well,
it's like, well, then I don't have that bullshit to do. So good luck with that.
Exactly. That's true. Way to look on that's the way to look on the bright side. Yeah, because like as we're doing all the logistics of this, I'm like, fuck, what are we doing? It's like, oh my god, especially moving halfway across the country. It's just like, good lord, this is just a massive undertaking.
Yeah, definitely.
God. Ooh. I'll be glad when it's done. I'll be glad, when like mid-June is here and we're moved into the house and settled in, and we can kind of just, take a breath, get back to like normal life, like
yeah. You have a new background for your podcast studio and everything.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just gonna start doing the Zoom thing where it just blurs everything out.
Just take a picture of your background right now and then use that as like, it looks the same, but his hair is all fluffy around his head.
Yeah, I'll take a locked off plate shot of my background here before I leave. That's a great idea.
Yeah, that would be good. Man, nothing ever changes in there, does it?
His place in Kansas looks just like his place in LA.
Yeah, it's uncanny. Amazing. All right, let's after you're done coughing.
Yeah,
let's
sorry.
get into this episode. That's all right.
Okay.
Ugh, gross.
Yeah, it's still in that kind of like crackly phase,
Yeah.
Oh god, I hate that
so
shit.
It's good I'm reading tonight is the point.
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, I'd be struggling today if this was my recap episode.
Yeah.
Who are we to play God with the kid's life?
All right, cool. Let's hit it. This is season 2, episode 14 of Parker Lewis Can't Lose, Tower of Power, or in German,
Üble Geschichte.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you very much, Paul. And that translates to bad story.
Bad story.
I like that.
That's
This
a
is very
weird.
basic bad story.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's if there's any context or whatever to that. If it's just
Right.
a direct translation or whatever. But
Yeah.
Anyway, so this episode aired Sunday, December 15th, 1991. I made a note here that there was an episode of Columbo on later in the evening. And the only reason I noted that is because it struck me how it's 1991, late 1991, and Columbo's still on,
Yeah.
Like, that fucking show was on forever, you know?
Well, wasn't it like, and I've never watched Columbo. I've always wanted to. It's kind of been on my like watch list, but I just never got around to it. Wasn't it? It wasn't like a normal series, right? Wasn't it like
Right.
there'd always be like 2-hour movies, and they just make a few per year, and they would put them out randomly or something.
That's
throughout
how it started for sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
like in the 70s, because this started in the 70s, right? Like
Yeah. When the first season of Poker Face came out a couple of years ago, after I watched that, I watched the first few episodes of Columbo also just because I like that 70s vibe, and that show is such an homage to it,
Oh yeah, totally.
I wanted to watch the original, but and it's a fun show to watch just for that, guest star of the week, 70s grimy LA cop thing or whatever. and it's it's Columbo, and he's the disheveled guy in his crappy car driving around, from the beginning, it's like that, so. And I think the first episode was the first movie is directed by Steven Spielberg, for God's sake. So
really?
It's
Shit!
If it's not his first directing job, it's one of them. It's
One of the early ones,
yeah. But it's fun. I think it's enjoyable if you do decide to go back and watch.
It's always, I mean, for years, even before Poker Face. It's been on my watch list, because I love Peter Falk, and I just and it is like such a cornerstone of TV history, I'm like, I just need to go and like invest some time and actually watch that.
It's really funny to watch that format now too, because it's so there's a lot of shows like it that came after and probably before as well, but just I love the thing where it's like as the audience who did it from the beginning, because it's given away, but he doesn't, and you get to watch him magically break the case. And then I love when they confront people at the end, and the person's always like, "Well, you've got it all figured out, I guess. Looks like I'm going to the police station." Like, why didn't you call a lawyer?
Exactly.
Just like, "Well, Mr. Columbo, you've caught me."
Good show, sir.
Exactly.
I acquiesce.
Yeah, that's right. I murdered her. What? Why did you say that?
This is after the Miranda rights, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, and they just peacefully go downtown and go to prison. Just love that.
Oh god,
you've got it all figured out, I see. Anyway, all right. So let's get into this Parker Lewis episode. So, who was the worst teacher you remember from high school? The one that seemed more interested in proving they were always right, that they were always in control. You've got one in mind right now. For Parker Lewis, I know I do.
I do
For
too.
Can I guess who yours is?
Yes.
Is it Miss Flood?
Yes.
That's mine too. I knew it, man. I was like, should I ask if I should guess, or should we just count down from 3 and I'll say Miss Flood?
Oh God, that is hilarious. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt your
no, that's
your summary
okay.
there.
Nope, that's fine. That's exactly what I was thinking was going to happen. We need to. We should have gotten Charlie on the line for that one. Okay, so you've got one in mind. We just said who ours is.
Yeah.
For Parker Lewis, that's Mr. Lionel Tower. This week, at least.
Yeah, exactly. As with everything, it's this week.
Yeah. So for our opening credits gag, it's test time. We open to find Parker hard at work, putting the finishing touches on his test. Confidently, he picks up his test to turn it in, only to discover that there are many, many additional unfinished pages that fall from underneath it. So then we see Jerry working his pencil to a nub. Once he realizes this, he whips open his jacket and uses an electric pencil sharpener within to sharpen that pencil.
Yeah, it's a great gag too because as he shoves it in the jacket, like pencil shavings just spurt out.
Yeah, yeah, it's really messy.
Yeah.
I also noticed. I don't know if you noticed. It's like they're all taking these tests by themselves. Like there's nobody else in the classroom.
Yeah,
it's funny.
It's like they're all sitting in the same desk. It's like they just bring students in one at a time. All right, your turn to take the test.
Yeah.
Everybody's waiting out in the hall.
Yeah, it's like the least efficient test practice ever. Yeah, so next we find Frank in class. He sneaks a peek around to make sure no one is watching, and as I mentioned, the classroom is empty. And then he produces a Ouija board, which sounds like the Enterprise transporter again.
It does.
And they just use that transporter sound effect whenever somebody breaks out a Ouija board.
Yeah.
But he uses that to consult for answers. And then lastly, we see Shelley, and she's in there puzzling over her test, or what appears to be her test. She's writing away, and as we move in close and over her shoulder, we see that she has filled out her paper with professions of love for Jason Priestley. The entire page is covered with Shelley loves Jason, etc.
Yeah, and there's all variations of it, and also we hold on the shot for a long time because like the camera scans the paper to find all the different iterations of Shelley loves Jason, and it's like, man, it is a long shot.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. When I was watching it, I was thinking this. I didn't go back and look, but I was like, the way this looks feels like somebody stretching, and I wonder if it was like a German translation thing again or something. Like maybe there's something else in the English version. I don't know. I didn't go back and look, but
to compare
it
the
had
two
that
versions.
same kind of like slowing it down artificially kind of thing. Or whatever.
Maybe that's a good
It
point.
was
I
weird.
didn't think about that.
Yeah, maybe I'll go back and look. I don't know. It's available on Plex TV for now, for crying out loud. You can go back and watch.
Exactly.
All right, so we're opening up in the classroom, and it's slideshow time again. Rather than a fun-filled family vacation, though, we're here to discuss McCarthyism. According to Parker, every school has one class that is more heinous than PE, more hideous than physics, more horrific than calculus. At Santo Domingo, that class is Mr. Tower's history class.
And Mr. Tower is played by the great Dave Thomas. Most people would probably know him as Doug McKenzie, or from his many characters on SCTV. Of course, he was a writer and actor in Strange Brew. And I see your note here. He was a writer on Bones and The Blacklist.
Yeah, at least a couple episodes of The Blacklist.
Interesting.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting. Yeah. I mean, he's got a huge resume, so it's like,
well,
I don't
of
wanna put
course,
all this on here,
but you think of him. I mean, you think of him as a comedic actor, not really a.
Yeah,
I mean, I guess those shows had some comedic elements, but they weren't like straight out. They weren't like sitcoms. like
right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So that's an
interesting parts of his resume. Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, this is the episode that BJ Barry was telling us about, I presume, because we do see Badge later where he had his intoxicated interaction with Dave Thomas or whatever. Where he was
I was thinking about that every time Badge was on screen on this episode. I was thinking about that.
Yeah.
That anecdote.
Yeah, go back and listen to our to our bonus episode interview with BJ Barry from last year.
Yeah,
you can hear him tell that story. It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Mr. Lionel Tower enters the scene, peppering the students with questions and risking permanent eye damage by whipping a laser pointer around the room to select his victims. I don't know if you noticed this, but it sounds like a fucking lightsaber.
It does.
Whenever he swings it around. You know? And it's funny too, because it's like the TV style laser pointer where you can actually see the light travel from the thing to,
not just the
completely
dot.
impossible. Yeah, it's not instantly there. You see the fucking light like a phaser in Star Trek. This is like travel from one point to the other.
Yeah, like for some reason we can see faster than the speed of light when he turns that thing
exactly. It's ridiculous.
Elaborate, please, Miss Crichton.
American history with Mr. Tower. Every school's got one of these cyborgs. Now I've got him. So why am I so happy? Because in 37 seconds, it's lunch, and I'll be up close and personal with Annie Sloan. And that isn't enough time for another
Question.
We see her standing outside the classroom at this point, and they're making kissy faces at one another.
Yeah, and my note here was, why is she out of class?
Yeah, that's a good question.
She's standing outside of I was going to say Corin's, of Parker's classroom. It's like, I mean, obviously it's during a class time, so like, why is she out there?
Yeah, that's a good question.
She's skipping class.
Yeah. Yeah, she got a hall pass for the end of class. Yeah, so Parker's anticipatory fantasies are interrupted, however, when Mr. Tower asks the class to identify the name given to describe the threat of communism. Despite Frank's vehement hand-raising, Mr. Tower's laser beam settles on Parker's forehead. And as Parker struggles to answer, the bell rings, and he is saved. Except he's not. Mr. Tower is one of those, quote, the bell doesn't dismiss you, I dismiss you types.
Ugh.
Like Miss Flood.
Uh-huh.
And he assigns the class a one-page paper to be finished before they are allowed to leave the classroom. That's fucking savage too, man.
So fucked up.
I think it's the lunch period, so at least they're not missing their next class, but
it's still,
it's fucked up. So, so Frank leans forward and tells Parker, the Red Menace, fool, before settling back to begin writing his assignment.
I love that. The Red Menace, fool.
Yeah, he's got no time for Parker's bullshit.
I know.
So now we're in Miss Musso's office, and I assume it's later because Parker is there for this. All three buds are there. Miss Musso's leaning back in her chair, and she's painting her nails in this scene. She asks the buds, how is every little thing? And they begin to answer, but she cuts them off, spinning around in the chair really quickly. She needs their help with the Surplus Money Operating Group, or SMOG, as V.O. Parker calls it. So get another great abbreviation or whatever there.
Yeah.
Acronym? Acronym, probably,
yeah.
Right? Yeah.
I was about to say anagram, but acronym.
Yeah, just put
one of those damn A words.
You saying anagram, and we'll just leave that in there. So in 1 week, this group, SMOG, will be awarding a substantial bonus to the most deserving school. And as Miss Musso puts it, I am that school.
That's great.
She wants to enlist the buds to produce a documentary about a day in the life of Santo Domingo High School.
I love that Mikey's confused when she says documentary until Jerry explains, it's like a rockumentary, but without the music. And he's like, oh.
Yeah. Immediately it clicks for him when he says that. He's like, oh, right.
It's like a rockumentary, but without the music.
Yeah.
Oh, rockumentaries.
So yeah. I miss those. I don't see those much anymore.
You don't.
So after a short huddle, during which Mikey suggested the project will lead to babes, the buds agree. We'll do it. Miss Musso is very pleased. And I like this line. I like the way she read that line because she's like, oh, good.
Yes.
Well, it's funny, though, because when I noticed that when she asked them if they would do it before we see the huddle, she settles into a pose and it actually matches the picture of her on the wall in the background. I thought that was pretty funny staging. All right, so they're on board with this. So later they're at the Atlas Diner. They're seated in a booth with Parker across the table from Frank. Citing the project that Miss Musso has assigned them, Parker demands that Frank cough up the key to the AV room, which Frank promptly and literally does.
Yes.
And he extends he just gags away and then extends the key from his mouth with it stuck to the end of his tongue and then hands it over. And I just made the note here. This fucking performance is excellent, especially when he extends his tongue out.
Yes.
He looks so devious when he does that. Because it's just like hooked on his tongue, you know?
Yes.
It's just dangling in the air.
It's like, I wonder how many times Taj had to like rehearse that to get it. You know what I mean? Because it's like it's like his tongue unfurls, but like, and the old skeleton key, you know, it's got the little like loop at the end of it is dangling from the tip of it. It's just so fucking great.
Yeah, it's a great performance.
Yeah.
Frank then suggests that the project is a waste of time, given Parker's subpar performance in Tower's class. When Parker asks why Frank is so enamored with Mr. Tower, he explains in great graphic detail the ways in which lemurs have traditionally absorbed and processed history. And in fact, his description is so specific that a diner behind him retches and runs off. Guy's grossed out.
Yes, totally.
Yeah. So in Mr. Tower's classroom later, Parker sneaks into class late as Mr. Tower asks the class a question about McCarthyism. After the first student he calls upon is dispatched for her ineptitude, Lemmer stands and delivers a very detailed answer to the inquiry. Much to Frank's surprise, however, Mr. Tower is unsatisfied with the level of detail and sits Frank down.
Poor Frank. Yeah. And the student that was called on before him is Miss Roth, and Miss Roth is played by Anastasia Nemec. Who is actually Corin Nemec's older sister. And she's got a couple acting gigs on her resume, but a lot of hers is crew, a lot of which is like first assistant director on many productions, and one of which being The Rookie, which ran from 2021 to 2026. That's probably the most recent of her credits. But I mean, she's done a ton of stuff behind the camera.
Okay. Yeah, I was looking for her in the episode, but I have no idea what she looks like, and I missed the Miss Roth part.
Yeah.
So good catch there.
Yes, sir.
I am a Dickens, am I not?
Yeah, so Mr. Tower then consults his seating chart before he laser shoots past one of the Vogues, Malika. I don't remember what her name is in here. I think it's in here. Yeah, I think it's in
Caroline,
right
I think.
the top there. Okay, Caroline.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, she's popped up a couple times as the Vogue, one of the Vogues. But I think this is her last episode she's in of Parker Lewis.
Okay.
I believe.
Yeah, I think she was only the Vogue in the first one. I think she might have been had a different character name the other two appearances.
Right, okay, that's true, maybe. Yeah.
Or she's no longer one of the Vogues because she doesn't look like one.
Yeah, it's true. This is true. Or maybe the Vogues disbanded.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that one. Yeah, the Small Wonder Girl just ruined them. The whole thing fell apart. They discovered she's a fucking robot, and they're like, I don't know what to believe anymore, man. The Vogues are done.
We're disbanding.
We're disbanding the Vogues.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. So anyway, his laser shoots past her and lands on Parker's forehead. Parker rises to answer, and I thought it was funny because the laser just stays on his head the whole time. Like the same thing happened to Frank. Like he stood up and the laser just follows him when he turns his head. It's like stuck to his forehead. It's really funny. So so Parker rises to answer, but he's not able to do so. And citing Parker's ignorance and attributing it to the entire class, Tower then assigns a test that coming Friday to cover everything they have learned. Quote, every fact, every figure, every person. I like the way you read that. Yes. Every figure. So this test will count for 50% of their semester grade.
Fucking Christ.
Yeah, that's wild, man. Parker sits back at his desk defeated, and the laser beam is still squarely between his eyes as we fade to commercial. And then I made a note here. I thought it was interesting. It actually stood out to me that it was a normal fade to black, except that it turns out the pixelation is on the laser, because it fades to black, and then you see the blocks of the laser receding, basically.
Yes.
So that's kind of interesting.
It is an interesting transition because you're right. It is a fade to black with the red laser beam not fading. Like everything in the picture fades except for the laser beam, and then they do their pixelated mosaic transition on the thing. But of course, in the black, you can't see it happen. You only see it happen in the red laser. So it's a bizarre transition. But
it mostly stood out to me just because, we've been watching this long enough. I've never seen a fade out on this show that I remember. Maybe the first episode, but I don't remember any kind of fade to black. So anyway, so we're that was the fade out to commercial, and we come back. We're in the hallway at Santo Domingo and reading a copy of American History Volume 1 and 2 by Clyde Phillips. V.O. Parker calculates that if he studies 3 years of history every hour between now and test day, he should be in pretty good shape. And then here, Frank enters a scene behind him, also reading a book, and his VO overlaps Parker's as they both admit that they will have to forego meals, sleep, and bathroom breaks to hit that study mark.
Yeah, it's a great little gag where both their internal monologues match up.
Yeah.
And then my other note here was like, man, Clyde Phillips was a prolific author. Every book we see here is written by, like in the show, is written by him.
He's a Renaissance man.
Yeah.
Yeah, so after Frank departs, Mikey and Jerry slap production notes for the documentary into Parker's hands, and they're all walking down the hallway at this point. So they slap these production notes into his hands to discuss the interview and filming schedule they have set up for today. And then at this point, Annie comes up behind Parker and hands him tickets to the Scorsese Film Festival entitled Blood and Pasta.
Great title for a Scorsese retrospective.
Blood and Pasta. She tells him, be there or be single. Says, whoa, that's escalated quickly.
Yes.
And then all three of them leave Parker to feel overwhelmed and alone.
Yeah. My note was just that be there or be single is just like, oof. That's just wow. That's
yeah.
That's pretty harsh.
She's throwing down the gauntlet already here.
Yeah.
So V.O. Parker concludes that Tower is boning his life, liberty, and pursuit of Annie, and that the time has come to talk to him.
Yeah, and at this point, he actually synchronizes Swatch.
That's right, yeah.
So I guess they're still kind of doing the Synchronized Swatches thing, but we haven't seen it in a while, and this one is just
that's
his.
True. It's just him by himself.
Yeah.
Maybe the other guys lost their swatches. I don't know.
Yeah.
So the next scene, we're outside the teacher's lounge. Parker approaches the door to the teacher's lounge, and there is very clearly smoke emanating from below the door, which then retracts inside. Shelley appears to warn Parker to check the door handle for heat. Parker blows her off and turns the knob, and then a stuntman with Parker Lewis wig on is blown across the hallway.
Yes. So clearly a stuntman with a wig.
Yeah. Yeah. And I got to say, I guess Parker just hasn't watched Backdraft, because that's the only thing I remember from the movie Backdraft is if you see smoke coming out the bottom and it sucks back in, get the fuck away from there.
Exactly.
Yeah. And also that Donald Sutherland wanted to watch the world burn.
Yeah.
I remember that part too.
Yeah.
I want to watch it all burn. So Parker enters the lounge and discovers the source of the smoke. Every member of the faculty is smoking cigarettes or cigars.
I feel like that was a big 80s trope, was that the teachers are always chain smoking in the lounge.
Yeah.
Like every teacher's lounge.
Funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny here too, because they don't seem to be doing it out of like anxiety or whatever. They're just in a lounge like kicking back and chilling. You know?
Yeah. Because smoking a lot.
Like,
yeah.
Yeah, it's just there's lots of smoke, it's lots of smoking going on, and then these two young women come down the spiral staircase in bikinis and begin to mingle with everybody. You know, so there's a guy walking around serving canapes. You know, it's like it's very clearly meant to be an actual lounge and not like a bunch of teachers biting their nails and chain smoking. You know?
Exactly. That was the usual trope, is that you'd go in the lounge, everybody smoked like chain smoking and biting their nails, and they're just fucking, at their wits' end because of the kids.
Right.
But that's not the case in this particular one.
Yeah.
They're fucking chilling.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. They're lounging, if you will. Yes. Yeah, so there's a guy walking around with canapes, and Parker indulges in one of those before he sees Mr. Tower in the back, seated at a desk grading papers. So Parker's strategy here is he's going to approach Mr. Tower as a reasonable and fair human being, which is an idea that is quickly undermined when he sees that Mr. Tower momentarily has 3 arms.
It's a good gag.
Good visual. Parker tells Mr. Tower that Miss Musso has him on an assignment that will prevent him from taking part in the test on Friday. Tower asked him which came first, the assignment or his enrollment in Tower's class. Parker is forced to admit the latter, and Tower tells him the library closes at 5. Taking this as a challenge to choose his priorities, Parker chooses to prioritize everything. It's like, I'll show you. I'll kill myself.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so next we're in the lunchroom. Parker's interviewing one of the lunch servers, and he begins to ask her about Brown versus Board of Education decision, which she mistakes for a question about Mr. Brown, the gym teacher. Now, here, it's basically just that Parker's wires are getting crossed.
Yep.
Because he's talking to her about serving lunches, and then his brain just has like a stroke or something.
Yes.
And he starts asking about Brown versus Board of Education. And like I said, she mistakes that for a question about Mr. Brown, the gym teacher.
Yeah.
And then, so Mikey recognizes that Parker's misfiring, and he takes him away for some rest. And then Jerry steps in the frame, and he dons a fedora, intent on taking over the interviewing duties.
Yeah, and Troy Slayton here putting on his best vocal fry for his delivery to camera.
Yeah, I was wondering if that was like a specific reference, or if that's just supposed to be like a hard-boiled investigative reporter thing, you know?
Yeah, I just took it as kind of a generic hard-boiled investigator voice that he's putting on there, but it's definitely like that vocal fry kind of thing.
Yeah. Santo Domingo. Yeah, I kept referring to him on my notes when I was taking the voice notes as Kermit the Frog, because he looks like Kermit the Frog in a press outfit.
He does.
Just because of the fedora, you know.
Yep. And the trench
anyway,
coat too,
we're back
like because didn't Kermit
Yeah,
when he
that's
was
true,
when he
yeah.
was doing the news, he had the fedora and the I think he had a trench coat and a microphone.
Yep, he sure did. Always interviewing Miss Muffet about her tuffet.
Yeah.
What's a fucking tuffet?
Yeah.
Anyway, I should look that up. So anyway, we're in Miss Musso's office next, and she's seated at her desk, filing her nails again.
All right, Frank. Weekly expulsion report, please. Spit it out, Frank. Frank, I have plans for the turn of the century.
Will you shut your trap for a minute so I can think? Oh. Miss Musso, I'm so ashamed. It's Mr. Tower. He's making my life a living hell. I shall be forever damned for raising my voice to you.
There, Frank. Mr. Tower has a marvelous reputation. Well, he's practically an institution in this institution.
I love this scene. I mean, it's just a typical Musso Frank kind of weird relationship that they have. Frank, snapping at her, but then, like instantly begging forgiveness. But there's a part of it where he like gets down on his knees and he actually puts his head in her lap and she starts stroking his hair.
Yeah.
And it's all squeaking as she strokes his hair.
Yeah. She's like rubbing it in her fingers.
Yeah, I was going to say, because then he leaves and she kind of looks at her fingers like there's something on her fingers from his hair.
Yeah. It's really funny. It's gross.
Oh, God.
Okay, so we're back in Mr. Tower's classroom now. Parker stands in the doorway to the classroom, and some of his fellow classmates file past him. First is Frank, then Anjul, and Caroline, the former Vogue, all of whom are deeply focused on the studied facts dribbling out of their brains via their mouths. And finally, we see Badge, and he appears behind Parker, looks down the hallway, and he says, "He's coming."
Great read by B.J. Barry there. And then, Anjul, so we've seen Caroline before, the former Vogue, and we know Frank, but the new face here is Anjul, who's played by Anjul Nigam, I believe, and he's got a bunch of credits to his name. Lots of day player stuff, one-off shows, but he also did 8 episodes of Grey's Anatomy and 2 episodes of True Detective.
Yeah, and I think it was the first season of True Detective, which is only
I think it was
to me because it's the only one I've seen. So.
Yeah.
Did you watch that show?
I watched the first season, and then I watched the one with Jodie Foster. Those are the only 2 I've seen.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think
the Jodie Foster one was really good. I liked it.
Okay.
I feel like I can't really remember how it ended, but I do remember being like the ending was a little like meh. But overall, the season I really enjoyed. But
it's an interesting show.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Okay, so Parker makes his way to the back of the classroom, telling himself he's in control, he's responsible, and he's completely unprepared. As Mr. Tower enters the room, Parker bails out through the back door and takes off down the hallway. And apparently to the Atlas Diner.
Of course.
Where he is now seated at the bar, preparing to dig into the saddest, grayest, somehow wettest, and driest looking burger known as the Amnesia Burger.
Yes.
That thing looked fucking gross.
Yes.
It did not look hot at all.
No.
It just looks cold and gray. He intends to eat this thing and forget his troubles. But just as he's set to tuck into it, though, the door bursts open and his relieved classmates pour in, led by Anjul, who kisses the floor and then says he must wash feet now, which I thought was kind of... I didn't understand that, unless that's a cultural reference that I don't get because I'm stupid. Yeah. I mean, I don't know...
I don't know where they're going with this. I mean, washing feet is definitely has a lot of connections in numerous religions.
Right.
I don't know if it was like a Hindu thing or a Muslim thing that they were making a reference to. But again, because it's right after he like kneels down and like, I guess he kisses the floor or he kisses his books on the floor or something. So there is
kisses the floor.
Yeah. So and they're all kind of thinking they're lucky stars that they've gotten through this thing. So I don't know if it's some kind of a reference to a religion It didn't come across to me. It didn't land if that's what they were trying to do. So
yeah, me neither. And that it's one of those jokes that like I heard it, and it's very easy to like for it to slip past as though he, because in my mind that I filled in the blank of must wash mouth now because you just kiss the damn floor,
right?
Or must wash floor now because the floor is gross or something,
right?
But then I rewatched it. I mean, I like literally the first time I just missed the joke because I filled it in myself.
Yeah.
And then when I watched it again, I was like, wait a second. He said must wash feet now. I don't get that unless, like I said, I'm just missing a cultural reference there. I kind of went in the same direction, but I was like, it's
I mean, I didn't really look into it. Like I say, I know that washing feet in numerous cultures and religions is a big thing. Like washing your feet before you pray. But again, I don't know what they were referencing specifically with this.
Yeah. So the other students that came in were Caroline and Badge, because Badge came in just pumped about being finished. They're all super excited that they're done, and they're saying as much, and Parker's sitting there watching them, fully aware that he's completely screwed because he is not relieved as they are.
Yeah.
So, but trailing behind the students is Mr. Tower, and Parker is immediately frozen. He says he feels like Wile E. Coyote just before the boulder hits him. He looks over, and as we hear the sound of a boulder falling, Mr. Tower becomes aware of his presence. He strolls over and asks Parker if he came to class disguised as an empty chair today, which is such a teacher thing to say.
It totally is.
Parker apologizes and spins some yarn about hanging back at the diner after breakfast to cover for Nick, who had to leave to help out his brother. Nick overhears this, and when Mr. Tower asks him if any of this is true, Nick tells him not a word of it. Mr. Tower then places Parker on academic probation and assigns him a 30-page paper to write in study hall every day this week. He tells Parker that he is a hair's breadth away from expulsion. And I will say that Dave Thomas's performance here is very good and very threatening.
Yes.
He is very believable as a progressively angrier teacher.
Yes, he
talking
is.
to a student about being expelled. But I made a note here. I don't know that teachers expel students. And that even if they do, I don't think Miss Musso would look too highly on a teacher threatening that, since she kind of takes joy out of doing that herself.
Yeah, exactly. Don't steal her joy.
Yeah, exactly. So Parker contemplates how deep in shit he is as we pixelate to commercial. And then back from the break, we're back at the Atlas Diner again. We find Parker seated at a booth. Nick sits beside him. He doesn't sit behind him. He sits beside him. He sits behind him, and they pass notes back and forth. Nick sits down beside him. Parker can't understand why Nick would sell him out. Nick can only say Parker must be in some deep shit. He doesn't say shit. If he's willing to behave so out of character like this. So next we're in the study hall, and they're shooting the documentary here. So we see Jerry dressed like Kermit the Frog, the newsman, and he's introducing a segment of the documentary about study hall, referring to the students as malcontents. He is taken off guard by the appearance of Mr. Lewis. So then we break away from the shot here, and he and Mikey sit down with Parker and apologize for forgetting that he had study hall that day. They ask him how it's going. It's clearly not going well. Parker asks what happened to the good old days. Parker Lewis can't lose. And then Jerry tells him he doesn't have cable. I just made a note here, like, I don't know that you needed cable to get Fox back then.
No.
But, it's a joke. So
yeah, it's a joke. That's what I love about it. It's like you didn't need cable to get Fox, but Jerry is just so oblivious of the show that he assumes because it's so obscure, it must be on cable.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So Parker apologizes for sticking them with the documentary project themselves, but they tell him it's coolness and to knock out the paper, and they leave him to it. Parker he walks back to the bookshelf at the back of the classroom, lamenting having to ditch the buds, Annie, and the test. Although he didn't have to ditch the test. He chose to ditch the test.
Yes,
Parker.
this is true.
Mikey should have said something about that. Be like, oh, I see. So I bail on a test and it's the end of the fucking world, but then you bail on a test to go eat a fucking nasty hamburger.
Hypocrite.
Just saying. Yeah, exactly. So then he's back there lamenting all this shit, and then Frank enters looking an absolute hot mess.
Totally.
His hair's all over the place. He just looks a disaster.
His hair's sticking up like
his
this.
hair's standing straight up. Yeah.
Or his
He looks a
ponytail is
mess.
sticking straight up.
Yeah. Looks like a fucking troll doll.
Yeah.
So then Parker returns to his desk. He's actually seated in front of Frank. Yeah, and Mr. Tower's at the front, so I guess they must be having study hall in Tower's classroom or something. Since those guys are sitting where they usually sit or whatever. But so he asks Frank if he's in there recruiting for detention, and Frank tells him that he also failed the test. He's the first lemur ever to fail. And I wrote, no wonder he's so fucking high strung.
Yeah.
They've never failed before. Jesus.
Yeah, I know. Jeez.
He's tarnished the family name, is on the verge of condemning himself to attending a liberal arts college.
I love Taj's performance on this. This whole scene is great,
Yeah.
and especially the line read of "I'll be forced to attend a liberal arts college." It just the disgust in his voice is just it's fucking great.
Yep, he's spitting venom for liberal arts colleges.
Yeah.
So as time speeds by, this pile of crumpled up paper besides Parker and Frank gets larger and larger. And this other student across the room starts playing drums on his books. He just goes and goes and goes, and you can see the anxiety building within the two of them.
Yeah.
Before they finally they simultaneously shout, "Stop it!" at the guy.
It's great, and I noticed that so there's a chalkboard on the side of the classroom. So when we see that shot of the two of them, there's a chalkboard behind them. And there's this creepy ass drawing on the chalkboard, so I had to go back and paused it earlier in the scene to see what it was. It's like some instruction for correct posture for studying. So there's two figures sitting at desk. One's slumped over, over the desk, and it says it's wrong, and then the other one's he's sitting all up straight, and it's right. But the characters look creepy as fuck.
Yeah, I noticed that too. I didn't make a note about it, but I remember seeing that shit in the background. Man, what the hell is happening in Tower's class? Back in documentary land, out in the hallway, Jerry is reporting how within these hallways, discussions amongst students go far beyond mere academics. In here, they discuss their very lives. He is set to talk to a blonde student, but then Shelley decks her and takes the microphone out of her hand.
Some great physical comedy here by Maya and the extra, because she just she pushes so hard, and the girl just goes flying. And
she's
squeals,
completely knocked out of the scene.
Yeah, papers go fly. I mean, it's just it's great.
Yeah, so she introduces herself as Shelley Lewis, no relation to Parker Lewis, and she talks about how much she loves Santo Domingo because of the opportunity it affords you to learn, meet people, and show off exclusive photos of a certain student playing house with their Jetson dolls. And she's got an envelope with her, and she starts to pull one of those photos out, and then Jerry cuts the camera. Jerry and the Jetsons.
Jerry and the Jetsons.
Jerry loves his Jetsons.
Yes, he does.
So back in study hall, Miss Musso visits to check in on everybody. Tower's up front grading papers, and she asks him to leave some meat on the students' carcasses for her. And then she approaches Frank, telling him she expects high marks from him, before setting a bundle of licorice sticks on his desk.
He loves the licorice sticks.
Yeah. I just love how she drops it there like he's in prison or something.
Yeah.
But he's very pleased by this. And then it's even funnier because she walks up to Parker and she just hands him a single licorice stick. I just like the look on her face, like she's handing out money or something.
Yeah.
She's just so satisfied giving him the one stick. It's so weird. Funny though.
Oh God.
Well played scene.
Yeah.
So Parker turns to say something to Frank and finds him collecting his stack of papers. Frank's finished, save for the proofreading process, he says. He holds up his papers, and we're over his shoulder, and we see that he's basically looking at a blank page or something. Yeah. And he proofreads the front page and says he's finished.
Yeah, the besides it saying McCarthy at the top, the page is blank. Yeah. There's nothing on it.
Yeah, he's basically just I'm done, I just need to proofread. Done. And then Tower calls him out for talking in class, and then Frank just unburdens himself on Parker.
I hate that man. I hate history, and I even hate, God help me, Senator Joseph McCarthy. Frank, get a grip. Tower pushes buttons in me I didn't even know I had. I mean, look at me. I'm not eating, I'm not sleeping, I'm talking to you.
He's even talking to Parker, for fuck's sake. Parker tells Frank that he's the smartest guy in class, and the one pressuring him is himself. He tells him to forget about Tower, forget about Legacy, and just do it for himself. And then Frank asks him if he's ever been afraid, and Parker admits that he has. He's just better at faking it. So then after a moment, Frank gives Parker a book with a suggested section for his paper. And then Parker returns the favor, handing over some Senate transcripts that he says Frank might be able to use. He thanks Frank for his help, and Frank says, "It's coolness."
Great read.
All about, it's so stilted the way he says
Yes.
Coolness. So later on in the classroom, Parker's up front turning in his paper, Study of Modern Cold World Politics. In 24 hours, he says he's managed to eat 3 number 2 pencils, two number 3 pencils, and a mechanical pencil. Like, why is he eating all the pencils? But he's finished his laser-printed and on-time paper, as he describes it. Mr. Tower nods dismissively, and then Frank steps forward to hand in his paper, and he's all gushing over Tower, thanking him for the opportunity to discover new insights into the complexities of Joseph McCarthy. But then Tower cuts him off, telling him that the paper was meant to be footnoted with a bibliography. This paper is unacceptable. And then that basically just breaks Frank.
Yes.
At that point. He hangs his head in defeat and retreats to his desk. And then Parker, visibly irritated, stays put. I thought that this was kind of a striking moment, because you can just see that he's like, "You son of a bitch."
Yeah. Yeah.
In VO, he tells himself to take it easy and just walk away. But before he can do this, Mr. Tower asks him if he has something he wishes to say to the class. Parker corrects him. "There's something I want to say to you." And then Mr. Tower spins angrily and announces, "My office, now!" Another intimidating performance there. Very intense.
Yeah.
So then the office walls come crashing down around the two of them, and now we are in the office.
Yeah, it's a great gag because they're in the classroom, obviously, just facing off against each other, and we have the shot of Parker, and this office wall just comes smashing down. And I have to say, the team here is so good at the little touches too, because anytime, not just this gag, but anytime something comes and hits the ground like that, they always have that little puff of smoke and dust that just comes out.
Yeah.
And it's like such a great touch. And this is just kind of like the epitome of that.
Yeah, and it adds a lot to the transition because it's a cartoonish thing to do. It's obviously not really happening, or maybe it is in the reality. But adding that it makes it it leaves it open to interpretation. Like, is his office really dropping into the middle of the classroom like that?
It's so good.
Yeah. All right, so we're in Mr. Tower's office now, and he asks Parker if he's ready to explain himself.
Where do you draw the line? You just don't know when to back off.
Oh, and you know more than I about shaping the teenage mind?
Shaping it? You're crushing it. Frank Lemmer loved history. He even liked you. And now he never wants to look at another history book for the rest of his life. Nice job.
I had no idea you were such an expert on education, Mr. Lewis.
If you'd stop acting like such a hard ass all the time and start treating us like human beings, maybe you'd appreciate the value of an education.
In light of your recent performance, I hardly think you're in any position to judge.
Look, I pulled a lot of crap, and you nailed me. You were right, but Frank's demolished. I'm just saying, try and see it from his side.
You finished, Mr. Lewis?
Yeah, looks that way.
I really liked that scene. I thought it was a very good back and forth between the two of them.
Very good scene. Yep.
It's nice to see him stick up for Frank too.
Yeah,
because he's making solid points. That's
100%.
Exactly what this fucking guy needs to hear.
Yeah.
So later on, we're back in Tower's classroom. This is after study hall and everything. And he's back up in the front of the class with his laser pointer in his hand again. And he asks someone to expand upon a question concerning the McCarthy Army Senate hearings. His beam finds one unfortunate young woman's forehead, and she is clearly not ready to answer. V.O. Parker laments that history is going to repeat itself, and no matter what, people don't change. Life lesson learned. So he broke Parker as well.
Yeah, exactly. People don't change. Life sucks.
People don't change. Life sucks. Life lesson learned. As Mr. Tower prepares to launch into a review of a Supreme Court decision, the bell rings. But to the surprise of the entire class, Tower dismisses them mid-lesson. Badge is certain that this is a trick.
I love the read, too. He's like, this is a trick. Right, dude?
Yeah. He's so fucking high right there. So Mr. Tower steps to the blinds and opens them, allowing in a little bit of sunlight. And he says, of course, if you'd prefer a surprise test. And the students leap to their feet and hightail it out of there. As Frank exits, Mr. Tower stops him, telling him that his genuine affection for history has no doubt brought his paper up to his usual standards, and warns him that in the future he wants footnotes. This, however, will be fine for now. Frank leaves excited, and as Parker exits, he and Tower share a nod of acknowledgement. So back in the hallway, we're in documentary form again. Jerry, viewed through the monitor, narrates, "This is high school. Exhilarating, enlightening, oftentimes brutal. How do you sum up a place like Santo Domingo?" And then Annie passes right in front of Jerry, right through his fucking shot. Just like, right in front of him.
We're rolling here. We're rolling.
What the fuck are you doing, Annie? Anyway, so he continues, for each person, a different story. A bit changed for having trod these halls. And then we see Limmer close his locker, and Parker gives him a friendly pat on the shoulder, which is really weird to see.
Yeah.
And then Frank passes Miss Musso, who flags down Mr. Tower, and they walk along the hallway together. She's probably saying some really foul shit to him. Some really foul, really horny shit to him. Parker takes over narration at this point, suggesting that he's learned that talking your way out of work can be twice as hard as having done it in the first place. And Frank found a part of himself that Parker says he's never seen before. Vulnerable, even human. And then he says, and again, maybe I'm getting carried away.
Not quite human.
Not quite there, yeah. Jerry points to the camera to, like, you have seen him disappear in a thin air, right, Parker? Think about all the times.
Yes.
So Jerry points to the camera to call cut, and he and Mikey escort the AV equipment down the hallway. A job well done.
Yeah. I love that Mikey's sporting the old E&G style camera, too. Like, so he's got that camera on his shoulder, the old news camera, complete with the freaking battery pack belt. I don't know if you knew, like, so, like back, this was, like, just before my time as a camera operator, but, like, all those E&G style cameras, probably in the late 80s and early 90s, you didn't have a battery that just went onto the camera itself. Like, you had a whole, like, money belt of batteries around your waist that the camera was connected to, and he's actually wearing one of those.
Yeah, I remember seeing. I mean, it's a look I'm familiar with seeing on shows and stuff, but that's interesting. I didn't know that's what it was.
Yeah. So you actually have to carry around this whole pack of batteries around your waist, like, to connect to the camera. But that was, like, right before my time, so luckily I didn't have to deal with that. But cameras were heavy enough by themselves.
Yeah, they look like it. Shit.
Yeah.
For our closing gag, Mr. Tower is in his classroom grading papers, and he tosses one onto a completed stack, and it's Parker's paper, which he is given a B-. But then after a beat, he reaches over and changes the grade to a B+. The end. Aw, Mr. Tower's changed, man.
Yeah.
What have you got to say for yourselves?
It was a good episode. I like this episode.
Yeah.
And like you say, that scene in the office where Parker's squaring off with him, I just really liked. I mean, it's the crux of the episode, obviously, but just that whole fact of, like, and I think they set it up earlier too when Musso's talking to Tower, because she's all about, like, you know, leave some meat on the carcass for me or whatever, and, you know, that whole thing of, like, she's all into, like, the you know, the punishment part, and he's like, I'm actually an educator, you know, like, they lay the groundwork that he is here to educate kids, but he's just kind of lost his way, you know, he's become very strict, and he's kind of lost the plot, you know, but he does want to be a good educator. That's why he's here. So it's I like that, you know, it took Parker to stand up and kind of, you know, call him on his BS, you know, and he kind of realizes it. Yeah.
And he does it in the right way, and he makes the right points, you know, because he's not like, hey man, you're a fucking jerk and nobody likes you, and whatever. It's like, you know, it's like, yeah, you got me. I know what I am. I know what I do here. You caught me, and you know, that's the right thing to do. But this fucking guy over here loves your class, loves the subject, and even likes you. You know, and you've ground him into dust. You know.
Yeah, exactly.
With, you know, your overbearing need to be right about everything or to control everything in the class, you know, and that's exactly the kind of teacher you don't want to have, you know, that's the one that makes, you know, nobody wants to be in high school classes, you know, I mean, very rarely do people want to be in a high school class, but like teachers who do that kind of shit just make it worse, you know, they perpetuate that idea of, you know, like you're only there to be controlled or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
I don't expect teachers to go into high schools and be like, all right, we're here for the love of learning, because, you know, that would take like a wholesale reorganization of the way we do education.
Oh, yeah, totally.
You know, to bring up generations of kids who think like that, because most of them just don't want to be there, you know?
Yeah.
But it's so much worse when you have somebody like this who, like you said, loses the plot. They've lost the track of why they're there in the first place. And it's nice to see that it was, you know, he pushed back against Parker, but you know, you don't see like this, oh, you're right kind of thing. It's just like he just shows evidence of a change of heart. You know?
Exactly. I was going to say that's the other thing. There's some subtleties here that I think they handle it really well. It wasn't just like during that scene he's like, oh, you're right, I'm wrong, and I see the light. It was like he still kind of you know. You could tell some of what Parker was saying was sinking in, but he was still holding his position. And it wasn't until the next scene where you see that he let them go at the bell. You know, the little changes, like, you know, just to show that, okay, Parker got through to him. It was just, I think it was really well handled and really well executed.
Yeah, exactly. Well executed. I would say the same thing. It's well done. And it was a funny episode. A lot of funny shit.
Exactly. Yeah. And Dave Thomas is great. I mean, like you say, he so many times you just feel how menacing he is. You know, like definitely. In his performance, it's like, oh.
Let me also point this out. I completely forgot to mention who wrote and directed this episode. At the top.
Oh yeah,
it was written by the team of Adam Barr and Peter Acco.
Yeah,
6th episode they've written. And it was the 2nd episode directed by Mark Jean. He directed Fat Boy and Little Man, which was also the last episode that Barr and Acco wrote together.
Gotcha, yeah.
Which was episode 7. So, yeah, I just wanted to mention that because we usually do that at the top, and I just forgot.
You know, it's funny. What do you say? It's their 6th episode, right?
Yeah.
It's funny. It feels like we've had so many more episodes written by them than 6. Like, you know, at this point, it's like, wow, it's only been 6? That's crazy. But I think they did write some individually, maybe. That's why I'm...
Yeah, and they show up a lot as story editors. Stuff
they're definitely a permanent part of the team. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're referenced a lot.
I know. They name students after them.
Yeah. Acco and Barr, you're up next.
On the next Synchronize Swatches.
Next time, Season 2, Episode 15, Obscene and Not Heard. We got another Pancal episode. Is this the last Pancal?
I think it might be the last one, actually, yeah.
All right.
Savor it, everybody. Savor it.
The IMDb synopsis goes as follows. On his latest evil mission, Dr. Pancal decides to target Santo Domingo one CD at a time. With the advent of
Chip, it's that thing that you used to listen to music on. CDs.
Compact disc. With the advent of explicit lyric labels, Pancal sends one of his evil henchmen into Mondo Video to catch Mr. Lewis selling such CDs to minors. Mr. Lewis fights back against Pancal's scheme to undermine the First Amendment. Parker garners a new respect for his father as Mr. Lewis risks everything to stand up for his rights. This is funny. I purposely didn't read this ahead of time, so that's why I was caught off guard with one CD at a time. It just caught me off guard. I didn't realize what we were talking about here. But that's actually a pretty funny write-up.
Yeah, that's a good summary. And just the idea of like, I can't wait to see Marty Lewis fighting for his First Amendment rights because he's going to go over the top.
I feel like we're going to have some flashbacks in the 60s when he was a hippie and fighting against the man.
I hope so. I also think it's funny that Dr. Pankow's sending people into that business. Like, who the fuck are you, man? What is your role? You're going to put them out of business? Who are you?
What does that have to do with high school at all? Like, what? It doesn't make any sense. Yeah, Dr. Pankow decides to target Santo Domingo one CD at a time. Yeah, I don't know how this really affects the high school other than that he's targeting the kids, but it's weird. It's a weird one. I haven't watched it yet. And I don't really remember this one.
Yeah. I don't either. But it's our last Pankow, so we gotta savor.
Yeah. savor. Slowly now.
Yes, slowly
now.
You've been listening to Synchronize Swatches, your twice monthly dose of coolness. Hey, Chip, I know people are listening to this, but what if they want to see our haggard faces?
Well, Chris, that's not a problem. We're also on YouTube. They can head over there and subscribe to our channel at Synchronize Swatches. That's where we post all of our episodes and some bonus content.
What kind of bonus content?
Well, mini episodes, interviews with cast members, and the occasional apology for one of our many transgressions.
Hey, that's great. Now, if only there was some way for people to watch the Parker Lewis Can't Lose episodes along with us.
There is, you stupid idiot. Plex TV is currently streaming all 3 seasons of Parker Lewis Can't Lose. Sounds like we're all winners, Chris.
Oh, my God. Speaking of winners, we're also on social media. Our handle is @SwatchesPod on Instagram and TikTok. Find us and follow us for daily reels as well as previews of upcoming episodes.
Hey, why not send us a little correspondence? We'd love to hear from you. Our email address is swatchespod@gmail.com.
While you're at it, jump onto your podcast app of choice and leave us a 5-star rating and positive review. That's a great way to get the word out about our show.
And did you know our theme music was written and produced by my sinister hand?
Braggy. The show is recorded inside 2 small habitats on opposite sides of the moon. It is written by the hosts with post-production by Chip Johnson. Chris Gregory has been cursed with management of our socials.
Special thanks to Paul Coates for all his German title insights. Danke, das... Oh, God, you get me German here?
Look, there's phonetics right there at the bottom.
Danke, das du ein Freund bist?
Good job. Thanks again for...
Sorry, Paul. I'm so sorry.
Thanks again for joining us. Until next time, I'm Chris Gregory.
And I'm Chip Johnson.
Reminding you that empathy is more rebellious than a middle finger.
Yeah.
My friend Jerry said you guys were going to do something really neat today.
Well, Mr. Columbo, you've caught me.